What up, race fans? Total Control 871. All right, so I'm here, chilling. I've retired for the evening. The Black Rider has been put away, safe and secure, and I am kicking back with a couple cold ones. Today I'll see if I can upload, maybe tomorrow or sometime, some of the footage of me cycling to Egg Harbor Township Police Station. I had to file charges. Let's see, I had to sign my complaint against the Egg Harbor Township careless driver. That would be the silver Acura. Silver Acura that cut me off. They overtook me when they should not have. It's very hard for these motorists to, how can I say this? They just don't want, or they can't wrap their heads around the concept of getting behind the cyclist. Execute your turn behind the cyclist. Don't try to overtake. Don't try to gun your engine and to race ahead of the cyclist. Probably because, well, let's see, how can I say this? We're going faster than you think. I can't speak for every cyclist in this particular aspect, but me, myself, I tend to favor a lower cadence. My cadence is like maybe 60, 65. I tend to favor a lower cadence and a higher gear. So from your vantage point, as you are coming up behind me, you will see, my crank going, let's see, it'd be like boom, 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 but what you don't understand is that I'm in a rather high gear. So that means that I'm going either 20 miles an hour or maybe just under 20, 18 to 20 miles an hour. Your vehicle cannot make a right angle turn at 20 miles an hour, or to overtake me, to get ahead of me as you are trying to do. You would have to go faster than 20 miles an hour. And of course, like I said, like I was trying to explain to Sergeant Mueller in the Hamilton Township unlawful stop part 2, that's the problem. These drivers, they try to overtake the cyclists. They completely underestimate our speed, and then they realize that they have to go much faster than they had anticipated to execute their turn. And of course, it ends up in an absolute fiasco. Well, it ends up in what we see in the video. Yeah, I'm stressed tonight. Anytime I deal with the police, it leaves me with a great deal of stress. It aggravates my PTSD. I'm gonna be totally geared up. I can tell already. This is about my fourth or fifth beer, and normally right about now is when I pretty much can feel that I've kind of had enough, and I'll stop drinking. I'm not that big of an alkie. Oh God. But tonight's gonna be a 12 packer. Tonight's gonna be a 12 packer for sure. Yeah, so that's what happened with the careless driver as far as Egg Harbor Township goes. I also have a case where I've signed a complaint against a Hamilton Township driver. I felt bad. I did. It's a mother, a young mother. I tracked the vehicle down to the parking lot of Chuck E. Cheese. I can only assume that she was in the Chuck E. Cheese or maybe one of the nearby stores. Judging from her hurried pace, there was probably a birthday party or something going on at Chuck E. Cheese that had her at a rushed pace. Or maybe not. Maybe she just simply maybe she's just simply in a hurry to get to Chuck E. Cheese. Who knows? I don't know, but as we can see in that video, she came very close to clipping my front wheel. The first vehicle that came out of that merging lane, they were kind of sort of close. I'm not going to be real nitpicky about this shit, but her rear end almost clipped my front wheel. So I'm definitely done with fighting with these drivers. I'm going to start holding them accountable for their actions. It does break my heart to do so. She's a young mother. Nobody can afford fucking court fines and traffic ticket shit. Nobody can afford that shit in today's fucking economy, man. That's a real fucking drag, dude. But this is what I have been forced to do. Because I have been forced into these turning lanes and denied the lane control that is outlined in the New Jersey State Cycling Manual, because I've been denied this, this is my only recourse to start holding motorists accountable for their bad driving habits. Now, things are going to get interesting here. This is definitely going to be lane control saga continued. Let's see. What's going to happen here? See, I can't afford an attorney. Or, to be absolutely clear, I could have taken my money. I could have retained an attorney. And there are several attorneys, of whom I will not mention, but they have definitely confirmed and ratified what I pretty much suspected about Judge Switzer. That he tends to, how do I want to say this? Respect, or once you've paid into the legal system, unless you have paid into the legal system in some fashion, then he really has no respect for you whatsoever. So my case was doomed, before it ever began. The simple fact that I did not show up with an attorney meant that I lost my case. I'm sure if you were to ask him, he would, of course, deny this. But, so yeah, I was definitely denied due process there. Judge Switzer's reputation precedes him. It does. So had I have paid into the lawyer system, things would have come out a little differently. I could have taken it. I just dropped about $2,000 on winter kit, fleece, long john bibs, fleece jersey, cycle jerseys, Today I just spent $330 some dollars on uh, a very new type of what do you call it? Long johns. They are moisture wicking long johns. These things are the shit, man. I fucking love them. They are distributed by Harbor Bay, which is a label of uh, Destination, DXL, Casual Mail, whatever name they're operating under. It's a big and tall shop, and I didn't quite understood what the sales clerk was trying to tell me when I was buying these things, but when I got them home, I was like, oh my God, these things are the shit. This is exactly what I need. It's thermal for the winter, thermal underwear, long john underwear for the winter, but it's moisture wicking, meaning the material, it is like Under Armour, so to speak. So it's moisture wicking like that. Oh my God, nothing, absolutely nothing is worse than being in the dead of winter. You're out on your ride, sweating up all of your inner layers, because you go out in layers, in your long, my cotton long johns. You don't really have much of a choice. You have to fucking wear them or freeze. Take your pick, and everything will feel fine. You know that you're sweating, but everything is warm. All the moisture is warm. So basically, it's kind of like a wetsuit. That kind of principle, that kind of thermal dynamic is going on. All of your sweat, it's warmed up to your body temperature. So there's a film of moisture, trapped. But when you stop, and see, I don't got to explain any of this to any of my cyclists, that are out there. They know exactly what I'm talking about. When you stop, that's when you begin to sweat the most. Once you've stopped, be it at a red light, be it at a cafe, getting a cup of coffee, that's when all of the sweat comes pouring out of you. And even then, you don't even feel it right away. But then all of a sudden,